I'm at it again, giving my plants things they probably don't want. Or maybe they do. Who knows? We'll see, I guess. But look, it's all in the name of science, right? And I do these things so that you don't have to. You can thank me by subscribing or liking or one of those other things that us needy YouTubers always ask for. This time though, I'm giving one of my poor plants soy sauce. Yes, soy sauce. The stuff you drown your Chinese takeaway in. Well, I'm drowning my plant in that stuff. Not because I want to season it before eating it, that would be weird. But because 5 Minute Crafts says I should. You know, 5 Minute Crafts, right? The YouTube channel with millions of subscribers and, shall we say, slightly dubious content. I actually have to be really careful there. I don't want a lawsuit coming my way. I've done a few reaction videos on them you should check out, but only after finishing this one. YouTube definitely wants you to finish this video. Anyway, anything 5 Minute Crafts says I should do has to be right, yes? We'll see. And you definitely want to see the results of this one. It's balmy, let me tell you. And by the way, Squarespace have been kind enough to fund the soy sauce to make this video possible. I'll pay them back with a mention shortly, and you can pay them back by remembering to pay attention, okay? So, this is all pretty similar to the milk experiment I did with my money tree not long ago. Give the plant something some mad people think they'd like for 3 months and see what happens. And if you've not checked out that video yet, then I highly recommend you do. It was an absolute blast, even if I do say so myself. With that one, the video came about because some YouTubers thought it was a good idea, so I put it to the test. Here, the behemoth that is 5 Minute Crafts suggested adding soy sauce to houseplants in one of the videos I debunked. I say debunked, it was more just me laughing at it, to be honest. During that video, I just couldn't get my head around the idea of using soy sauce on plants.
Soy sauce will kill that plant, I think, because soy has high salt content, so that will just kill that.
I mean, why? Soy has sodium, and if there's one thing plants don't like swimming in, it's salt. But maybe I'm missing something. What do you think? What does Lee at Kill This Plant think? He likes an experiment.
So I think that if you feed your plant soy sauce... Wait, soy sauce? Richard, you gotta stop asking me these questions.
I've honestly been trawling the internet trying to find just one valid reason why 5 Minute Crafts are saying we should be doing this. But I've come up short. Maybe they're just trolling us. What does ChatGPT think? Does giving soy sauce to plants kill them? Even ChatGPT doesn't think it's a good idea. Look, we'll press ahead anyway. All in the name of science. What plant did I use for this then? Well, I didn't want to murder an existing one. I've become quite attached to them. So I popped to my local garden centre and picked out 2 poor, unsuspecting Aglaonemas. Well, I guess only one of them was unsuspecting because I didn't give soy to both. Like a true scientist, I decided to buy 2 of the same plant to track the true impact of this poison. We needed something to compare it to, so I bought its brother. And the soy? I didn't just buy any soy, no. I bought authentic soy straight out of China. Ease supermarket. It looks authentic anyway. It's probably cheap muck for tourists, but I wouldn't know. So what's the recipe then? I wanted to give the Aglaonema a chance, so it's 1 part soy and 1 part water. 5 Minute Crafts didn't expand on their recipe in their video, so I'm guessing at this point. Most recipes of these weird plant hacks on the internet say to water the thing we're using down, so that's what I'm doing here. And it's light soy sauce rather than dark soy sauce. Not sure what the difference is? Neither was I until I started doing all this. So at least this knowledge bomb is one good thing to come out of it. Soy sauce is thinner and used as a seasoning, whereas dark soy is thicker and used more for thickening and colouring. That's my limited understanding anyway. Here we go then, day 1. Are you excited? While I show you me pouring half a gallon of soy sauce on my plant, let's have a chat about Squarespace, who are funding the very soy you see me using right there. Doing things like this isn't cheap, you know. I've been using Squarespace to set up a website to make it easier for you to give me money. Sorry, I mean a website to give you more houseplant tips and tricks. Look, there's already a couple of blog posts for you to read while you're sitting on the loo, as well as some links to my Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee pages, of course. Wow. That is a lot of soy. As I was saying, it's a breeze to use if you want to share your experience with the world. Even a Dumbo like me had it all set up in less than an hour using their innovative grid system. And just because you're you can bag yourself a 10% discount off your first purchase of a domain or a website. Just have a nosy in the description for details. What do you think? Did it look like the plant enjoyed that? What plant in their right mind would love having that dark, salty mixture poured all over their roots? And look, I'm writing a label on the soy one so I don't lose track of which one is which. And I really didn't need to do that. Oops, I'm giving too much away. So, let's fast forward a few weeks and see what's been happening. Hey, when's this? A day? Seriously, what happened? Already, it's not looking so great for this plant. So this is the one that I've not touched, and as you'd expect from a new plant from the store, nice and healthy. The stem is nice and firm, locked into the soil. This one, for some reason, the stem is wobbling all over the place already. Look at that. So something's up with this plant already after only 2 days of giving it that soy mixture. And you can see from the soil that there is some mould on top. So that soy has really done a number on this plant already. Things aren't looking great already, are they? Best get to removing that mouldy soil on top. Seriously, what was that? Looks gross. Okay, so maybe it was just the shock the plant went through and it started to bounce back after a few days? Maybe not. Blimey. Look at the state of this plant. What the Monstera is 5-minute crafts thinking, telling their audience to drown their plants in soy sauce. It clearly kills them in a matter of days. I bet tons of people went out to their local Chinese supermarket after watching that video and bought a load of sauce to drown all their collection in. Can you imagine the carnage? Talk about an apocalypse. A plantocalypse, if you will. I mean, all the lower leaves on mine are absolute prawn toast. They've turned dark brown to have clearly taken on all that soy through their cells. Just look how dehydrated this thing looks. I guess I was right in my reaction video.
Soy sauce will kill that plant, I think, because soy has high salt content.
Not that I'm saying I told you so, mind. That mould on the soil is back too. What do you think is causing that? There's no sugar in light soy sauce. The fermented bean element maybe? Anyway, the disease is slowly working its way up the plant to the newest leaf, so clearly something has to be done. I don't actually want to lose this plant. My conscience is already pretty cloudy with all those plant homicides under my belt. I can't lose this one too, so I've now got a job on to save this plant. Thanks 5-minute crafts. By the way, if you're wondering, the other plant is looking marvellous. Maybe a bit sad that his brother is dying, but in the circumstances holding up pretty well. Who knew just sticking to water would be a good thing? The plan of action then, seeing as this video has turned into a plant rescue video now. The first thing was to get rid of those diseased lower leaves. They weren't helping anyone at this point. Once a leaf is on the turn, there's no turning back. At this point, I'm left with just 6 potentially viable leaves. To be honest though, most of them look dehydrated, so I wouldn't be surprised if I lost all of them. I'm just hoping that this plant could push out new growth. It's pretty clear the roots are just not happy, and who could blame them? So we need to get rid of that mouldy soil as quickly as possible. Breaking this stuff loose from the plant wasn't a particularly pleasant experience, let me tell you. The smell of mouldy soil was quite simply unpalatable, to put it mildly. Looking at the roots though, they didn't appear to be in too bad a shape. They weren't rotting anyway. Nothing black that I could see yet. The problem, of course, is that they were laced with soy sauce. To be honest, I'm more concerned about the bottom of the stem. Didn't look happy at all, and if that goes, it's good night Vienna. I gave all the roots a thorough rinse down under the tap. It's ironic, isn't it, that the roots look a bit like ramen noodles, almost good enough to eat. Look at that soy left in that tray. In the bin you go. I'm putting the plant back into the same pot because it was the perfect size for it, but I did give it a good wash to make sure there were no soy residuals that could seep back into the roots. I filled her up with some good old potting soil and gave her the keys to a new home. If you're unfamiliar with my mix, by the way, it's just 5 parts compost and 2 parts perlite. The perlite is added to lighten up the mix a bit, which is crucial for root health. I then gave it a nice drink without soy, of course, and placed it on my dining room table, which is a nice bright spot in front of a big window. Even after the hosing down and repotting, it was still looking in a sorry state. Go on, leave it in the comments what you think will happen, and no name calling. And here we are, 3 weeks later. Underwhelming, isn't it? As I suspected it would, this plant has been losing leaves from the bottom one by one. There's not much left at this point. It's pretty amazing that all I did was give it one single drink of soy mixed with water, and this is the damage it's caused all these weeks later. It's not that amazing actually, is it? Soy sauce has salt in, you dummy, and any sane person can see plants hate salt. But there is hope, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
What?
The single newest leaf at the top is so far not looking terrible, and that could be considered a minor miracle. If you're interested, I'll post a picture on my community wall of how it's looking after a few months, so keep an eye out. The video where I gave my money tree milk wasn't nearly so much of a disaster, so go check it out. If you want to learn how to actually keep your plant alive, then check out my brand new online Houseplant SOS course linked on the screen right now. It's packed full of easily digestible videos to help you become the plant parent you always dreamed you'd be. And you'll get 20% off during August, so go check it out.